Text the show at 573-875-KTGR. The Big Show starts now.
You bet it does. Welcome into Tuesday's edition of The Big Show on your total sports station, KTGR. Andy Humphrey and Brenden Schaefer here. Happy Tuesday. Hope you have not been sleep deprived today. I can't imagine why you would. Chiefs game finished up in a timely manner. So I'm sure all of you listening were just fine with your sleep schedule last night.
It actually was a really quick football game.
Yeah.
Like, it was over in a jiffy. I got to imagine that Joe Buck was asleep, comfy, cozy in his bed before the baseball game that he might have been calling a handful of years ago in the World Series.
That's a good
actually
point.
Concluded. So for those of you, unlike Andy, it sounds like,
Yeah.
who did stay up with me to watch that entire 18 innings,
Slept like a baby.
Ball game, you missed it, man. You missed a fun one.
It was certainly fun for those who decided to go ahead and stick with it the whole time. We'll talk about the Chiefs win and how tidy it ended up being. At least they started kind of slow, but in the end, got the job done against the Commanders. We'll talk about that Wild World Series Game 3 last night. We'll ask the injury expert, Will Carroll, today at 4:25, his thoughts on Beau Pribula's ankle injury as Mizzou is now down to the third string quarterback. And, of course, the NFL Good, Bad, and Ugly from Week 8. We'll give ours at 5:05. You can call or text us at 875-KTGR. Tweet us at KTGR Big Show. We're also live on YouTube at KTGR Sports is our channel. Go and subscribe there. Also live on Facebook at facebook.com/KTGR Big Show.
Now, the Big Show's Big Deal.
Well, the Chiefs put together a solid enough performance against the Washington Commanders to win 28-7 and grab their third consecutive victory, their fifth in their last 6 games. Patrick Mahomes, 3 more touchdown passes, 299 yards passing from Mahomes. Travis Kelce, 99 yards receiving. He caught a touchdown pass, which with that touchdown, he tied Priest Holmes for most Chiefs touchdowns all time by a single player, his 83rd total touchdown with the Chiefs in his Hall of Fame career. And now the Chiefs will set their sights on this Sunday where they take on the Buffalo Bills. Chiefs come into that game at 5-3, looking to keep this hot streak going. It'll be a 3:25 kickoff on Sunday as we look forward to that one. And that is the Big Show's Big Deal on this 28th day of October, 2025. You can call or text us here at 573-875-KTGR to discuss last night's sports proceedings, like with the dual screen that you had for, maybe less than 3 hours. It was so tidy, neat, and like, all right, Chiefs put in a hard night's work, got done early. You could punch the clock and go right back home before 11 p.m. Central Time, probably. Like it wrapped at like 10. And so I'm sure it didn't stick around for all that much longer. That was well done.
No, it was well done. The sports equinox was enjoyable. I felt like the thing to do for the Chiefs and Commanders, because that game went so quickly, they should have just ran it back. They should have played another one so I could have kept the dual screens going on until about 2 a.m. I just had one thing to watch. It was, I did, sports equinox, and for the last several hours of it, it was just baseball on the screen.
That would have been a great time to have you remember when they had like Midnight Madness for college basketball? I don't know if they still do that.
Could have
like
used
24 hours worth of college hoops.
Yeah, I would have watched just about anybody, I guess, at that point on the other screen. But no, we had the baseball, but before that we had the football, and the football went, despite like you said, Andy, a little bit of a sluggish first half, maybe offensively. Game took a little bit of time to open up. The Chiefs, they just weren't going to give much up to the Commanders with Marcus Mariota as the quarterback, and their defense was great again last night. And offensively, it eventually opened up. The floodgates open up, and the Chiefs have a big second half and end up kind of running away with this game.
Yeah, but both teams turned it over a bunch. There weren't really any punts until the second half, essentially. And what's amazing is that both teams were held under 10 possessions for the game. Like the Commanders had 8 possessions, and the Chiefs had 9. including essentially, if you don't even count the kneel, like they had a kneel down after a pick and 12 seconds. They essentially had 8 possessions in this game. I thought it was great too. Like they methodically work up to a margin that's comfortable. Like, okay, we're up 21 points. It's the fourth quarter. And it's not like we're going to pull the starters, but like the drive stalls, you know what? That's fine. We'll punt. Let Matt Araiza play. Everybody gets to play on the Chiefs. Like, everyone gets their turn, even if it's a game that you don't need to punt. You know what? We're up by enough. Let's go ahead and punt. That's what I expected that type of game to look like, especially with the Commanders not having Jaden Daniels. I will say some very impressive plays from Terry McLaurin last night. They need him. Like, they just need a guy like that to make a difference for them offensively, because right now they just don't have their edge because of just injuries and things of that nature. I don't know what that means for the Commanders going forward. They're 3-5. It's going to be maybe a tough road back for them. Yeah. But, man, the Chiefs, they got this done. Now, do we have any concern, though? Like, because Trey Smith missed the game. Maybe they'll be careful with him. I don't know. The short week, I don't know if you expect him back for Buffalo. Pacheco did come out. Week to week, MCL, according to the reports. We'll see what the practice schedule looks like for him, but that at least something to watch for the Chiefs run game.
Yeah, and if they're without him for a couple of weeks, like, it'll probably mean, a heavier dose of Kareem Hunt back in there. I don't know what they're so afraid of with Brashard Smith. I thought, we were kind of ramping toward getting him more involved, and was not as involved last night. Did have one 15-yard kind of shovel play that was called back on a penalty, so that would have made his night look a little bit different if there hadn't been a holding call on that. That was an explosive play that worked out. But I think you can probably just ride with Kareem Hunt, let Brashard Smith mix in for the next week or two as Pacheco dealing with a knee, and we'll talk with Will Carroll, the injury expert, about that one. I don't think it's really the end of the world. No, I don't really have any concerns. Like you said, you're missing really a couple of offensive linemen compared to what you would expect to have, and the show goes on. 28-7 against a team that, as you mentioned, the Commanders are 3-5. They're down on their luck a little bit. They're not the team that they were last year, going toe-to-toe, taking down the Lions to make the NFC Championship. They've lost a step for sure. They're kind of what I expected the Dan Quinn Commanders to be when they hired him. That's what we were seeing from them this year. Just kind of meh. And granted, they've lost Jaden Daniels for 3 of their first 8 games, but they're just kind of mediocre this year. But for the Chiefs to, in consecutive weeks, just look as dominant as they have, now that you've got Rashee Rice back in the fold, and he, had another good game. Travis Kelce was noticeable last night. They didn't spread it around to too terribly many guys, but as you said, not a ton of possessions, and they didn't have to. It was just a very tidy game. And I know you got the Bills coming up, and like, we're going to probably try to hype that game up because it is Josh Allen v. Patrick Mahomes. But as long as there's no additional injuries in that matchup, there's not really anything that could happen in that Bills game that's going to lead me to all of a sudden be back to worried about the Chiefs. I was worried to begin the year, Andy, but at this point, I think they are just about to turn into that juggernaut once again, even if it doesn't result in a win this week in Buffalo.
Is it surprising to you, and get your Chiefs thoughts into us, 573-875-KTGR. You can also leave a comment on our YouTube channel or live on Facebook. Is it surprising to you that, look, like the Chiefs offense looks fully operational again, what we expected them to be for the years and years under Patrick Mahomes, just last couple of years, clearly sputtering out for whatever reason. There were multiple reasons as to why it played out that way, but they're finally back to being the Chiefs offense again that we know and love. Is it surprising to you that when we talk about all the weapons that they have now, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, other pass catchers that they mix in, the leading receiver by far this year, Travis Kelce? Like, it's the receptions, yards per catch, like it's all Kelce at the moment. And we thought going into the year, whatever Kelce gives you, icing on the cake, right? He's kind of aging out, may not be able to sustain a full year at the level that he's at. Leading this high-powered ultra offense once again in receptions, and that's what's this built.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the season, Rashee Rice will pass him in receptions, I predict. I know that they're not close to one another right now.
Got a ways to go.
No, I know, but if we're going to go by receptions per game, that's not going to be a close race. Rashee Rice is going to blow Kelce out of the water by season's end. as he racks up, 10, 11 games or whatever it is. But there's no doubt, like Kelce has, I think whatever you were hoping to get from him or had imagined or we're going to set that benchmark coming into the season. I think it's reasonable to say that he has at minimum met that, and in most ways has probably exceeded it, averaging close to 60 receiving yards per game, averaging nearly 5 receptions per game. And again, that's the steadiness of that, Andy. He's 4, 5, 6 in just about every game played. Had a bit of a slow start against the Chargers, but only one game has he been below 4 receptions since that opening game against Los Angeles. So yeah, and he's got 3 touchdowns, adding another one last night. He's been Travis Kelce, and that's been a good thing to see for the Chiefs. And now, like, I think that gets opened up even more with Rashee Rice on the field as well, because we saw him, like, last night was his most explosive game of the season. 6 for 99 and a touchdown for Kelce. The 99 yards are by far the most he's had in a game. The Lions game, where he went 6 for 78, was the second most. But I just feel like with Worthy, defenses have had to contend with him. With Rashee Rice, now you've got really 3 high-quality receiving options in addition to those ancillary pieces that are going to be mixed in. I think having Rice and play along with Travis Kelce is going to serve to more open up Travis Kelce, because we talked about it, Andy, coming into the year. Like, we hadn't really seen Worthy, Rice operational at the same point, right? And then Hollywood Brown as another piece of that, which, he's still a nice complementary piece. But really, I think it's Worthy and Rice that are the 2 explosive guys.
Hollywood Brown does lead the team in touchdowns, though.
It's something to be said for that. But again, if he's your 4th option, and I would consider other guys like Juju to be reliable. I would consider Brashard Smith out of the backfield to be interesting. They'll go to Noah Gray. We didn't see Tyquan Thornton last night, but they're not afraid to stretch the field with him when the situation calls for it. They are just really in a good dynamic spot right now with their pass catching game. And yeah, Pacheco injured. We'll see how long he's out. But he's churning out 4.5, 5 yards per carry on most of these games too.
Yeah, once you give him his workload, he's able to. He's not going to wow you, but I think it's what the Chiefs need to at least keep teams guessing as to what is coming next. They should still lead with the pass, but yeah, you have to respect the run at times, so you can't forget about it.
Would you ever want to get greedy though if we get close? I don't know when the trade deadline is. It's usually
next
early
week.
November.
It's a week from today,
and so week. And so this is timely because with the Pacheco injury, like you said, he's done the job. I think the Chiefs could stand pat at running back. They could miss Pacheco for 2 weeks. He could come back. He could be healthy the rest of the year and be their lead runner. And they could mix in Hunt. They could mix in Smith, the rookie, as they've done. And they could make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. I think that's all within the realm of possibility. If the Jets were willing to move Breece Hall, how interested would you be, given the Pacheco injury, given what you said, he's fine, but not explosive? How interested would you be?
I'd be interested.
Say, you know what? But when I say how heavy of a draft pick would you spend on Breece Hall if you're the Chiefs?
3rd.
I would probably do at least a 3rd. Like, I think he's such
that's
a talent.
That's my ceiling. That's your floor.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would trade a 2nd round pick for him. I don't know what the contract is. I don't know how many. I know they're valuable, but I feel like that is almost the Chiefs just like flexing on the league and saying, you know what, we've kind of dinked and dunked around with our running back position the last couple of years, and we've kind of stood pat. We've added ancillary guys. We got Elijah Mitchell, and we're doing. What if the Chiefs just said, you know what, Breece Hall is probably one of the more dynamic players in the league at the position. Get him on an offense like this one, and it's game over. I would like to see him get a little bit greedy if the Jets are considering a move like that, because they've got Isaiah Davis, they've got guys that they could plug in, and the Jets are going nowhere fast.
I would love to see it. I just don't know how often we have seen that type of move from the Chiefs. Like last year, they got Hopkins last year, and I thought that was like as bold as they have been in a while with the trade deadline. Exactly. Like it's
ancillary wide receiver.
Yeah.
So no, they haven't done it. But how often do they get blown out in the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? And so it's one of those where it's like, you know what? The next year after that, let's go guns blazing on them and get a running back when there's one in the market to be had that's potentially extremely impactful.
I mean, get healthy on the offensive line first. I think that's first and foremost. And like when it comes to Trey Smith, we'll see. Over the weekend, it was kind of glossed over because the weekend included a lot of things pertinent to the show.
I don't remember anything
but
else that happened.
Report from Nate Taylor of ESPN said that Josh Simmons should be returning in a few weeks, whatever that means. Okay. I think a natural place for that to happen would maybe be after the bye week. That's after so you play the Bills, then you get the bye, and then maybe after that you get him back. Who knows? But seems that there might be resolution on that soon, and he'll be able to rejoin the team. But once you get everybody back on the offensive line, it seems more that seems like more of a priority than the actual skill players there. And I know, like, Breece Hall's excellent. Like, I'm getting greedy. I'm admitting that type of player to add to the mix to this Chiefs team. I can't say that I'm not intrigued by it. I'm saying that the Chiefs will still make sure that their draft capital is intact so that they can continue to build this thing. Like, it's not even they still want to make sure they have enough in the cupboard so that they can leave this window open as long as possible.
Yeah. You want to sustain it. That it's like the devil and the angel on either shoulder.
Oh yeah.
On the one shoulder is everything you just said about sustained success and making sure you've got the cupboard stocked up, and on the other shoulder is like Breece Hall, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, still got it. Travis
is Breece
Kelce,
Hall the only
Hollywood
one that
Brown.
You think of though? When it comes to that, there could be others. What about Alvin Kamara?
Yeah. So did you see this a couple of weeks ago? Kamara basically said, I don't want to go anywhere. If they trade me, you'll find me drinking pina coladas on the beach somewhere. Like, basically, if you trade me, I'm retiring.
So he doesn't want to go anywhere other than New Orleans? Okay, all right.
Maybe he's just a loyal guy and wants to be comfortable where he is. Who knows, right? If you're approached and you're saying, hey, we've got a deal on the table with the Chiefs. You want to go win a Super Bowl before you wrap up? Maybe he would feel differently about that, Andy. No, the reason that Breece Hall just comes so naturally to me when we're thinking about this conversation, and I didn't realize that the deadline was so near. But the Breece Hall one is like, the Jets are putrid, and they're like, we know that they're in a position to sell. And so I'm looking at ESPN.com right now. This article from yesterday, ranking the top 25 players who could move. Trey Hendrickson is number one. Not a surprise.
No,
because he never did get his situation squared away in Cincy. Jalen Waddle, number two. Chiefs don't really need an upgraded wide receiver at this point, which feels weird to say because that's not what we've been saying about this team most times on November 1st in recent years.
But they're healthy now. Yeah,
they're healthy. Good. They've got their guys. Number three is Breece Hall on that list. And again, I believe this is ranked the caliber of the player, but they're all considered, likely enough to be moved. The team fits are listed as the Chiefs, the Texans, and the Chargers. 35% chance prediction by the ESPN article that he would be traded. Other running backs on this list, I'm scrolling past some other notable players like Olave, Mark Andrews. You've got to get pretty far, I guess, to find another running back. I'm to the top 20. There's not another running back listed. So we could look at around. Jerome Ford is the next highest ranked name on here. Kamara's name is not listed, potentially because of what we talked about, is that maybe he's known to not want to leave.
Yeah. And if that's the case, if you have to go all the way down to Jerome Ford for the next name, then
why bother?
Why bother? Because then the price goes up. Like, if that's the only guy that's worth trading for, then somebody else is probably going to want to go higher. And I don't think the Chiefs need to go higher to get in a bidding war with somebody.
Yeah, and I'm just racking my brain. Again, that's just one article, so it's not to say that there couldn't be others. Like, for example, the Panthers are dealing with this situation. Chuba Hubbard was their starter. Rico Dowdle has been outperforming him consistently.
Now that could be interesting.
Would they consider moving one of those guys? Now, Hubbard got a nice contract. He's getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid last year with Jonathan Brooks about to come back. Their rookie that then got re-injured. Could they basically say, Rico Dowdle is great, but we're going to sell him high because he's maybe not our long-term answer at the position, and we're not going anywhere if the Panthers fade out of it. Tony Pollard, I think, would be a worthwhile consideration that could come on the cheaper side, probably with the Titans. I doubt that the Baltimore Ravens would trade Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry is on this list.
But could they trade Justice Hill? Or that could
Keaton
be
Mitchell.
Yeah, Keaton Mitchell too.
I would be interested in Keaton Mitchell. He's got some juice as kind of their third string. Your Texans, Nick Chubb is on this list if they wanted to, kind of lean more into the kid Woody Marks. Jalen Wright from Miami. They've got Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright. So you get into that caliber of name, and it's obviously we'll do a 5th versus a 6th conditional, whatever, like those pick swap territories. Breece Hall is probably the one name where I'm like, I would give up a draft pick. I would give up a 3rd round draft pick. And if push came to shove and it was a bidding war and it was like, hey, the Jets are trading this guy, it's just going to depend upon who's getting him, I would probably trade a 2nd round pick, knowing full well that in the NFL, that's insanity. Like that type of price does not often happen, but I think Breece Hall's got, a little bit of, team control. I don't know how long. Contract, it's just a 1-year contract, but I don't know when he's eligible to be a free agent or if that's coming up soon. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Right.
If you got him, you probably want to re-sign him and keep him, but we know how difficult that can be to spend. So.
And that would be interesting for the Chiefs running back situation. Like that would be a signal of Pacheco's done here. Like if you're keeping Breece Hall around, then you're obviously going to say goodbye to Pacheco in some way, shape, or form.
But if you want a Super Bowl with him, so he will be a free agent after this year, which probably does change my opinion a little bit on that. Because yes, you can always spend some money and sign a guy if he's Breece Hall, and he's very young, so it's not like he's he's not that running back age where I would be afraid to sign him. But 2nd round pick for an expiring. I would still trade a 3rd though, knowing that Breece Hall is a free agent to be. I would trade a 3rd round pick because I think it would be the trump card in terms of the only thing that's not out of this world about the Chiefs offense right now is the running back, which is they've got a 6 out of 10. I want to see a 9 out of 10.
Which I get it.
Greedy.
I understand that part. I also just look at the landscape and say that other teams are going to need to be more desperate to add at the deadline than the Chiefs are. Colby saying on our Facebook page, we're set.
They don't need to do anything. They don't have to.
If we're just translating from last year, Chiefs still made the AFC, or still represented the AFC in the Super Bowl. And what was the problem in the Super Bowl? Couldn't protect. It wasn't because their run game didn't get. I mean, I suppose that was one of the issues, but it was because they couldn't protect. The offensive line was clearly an issue. They rebuilt that.
You would add, by the way, Rashee Rice to that mix.
Exactly.
He did not play in the Super Bowl.
You add in Rice. You add in what having everybody at your disposal does for everybody else. You add in that. I think Mahomes is playing better this year, just objectively from all of that. Irresponsible of everything else. He just looks better.
He's playing better.
Playing the position.
He does.
Protecting the football better, making better decisions, I think, when it comes to scrambling and things like that, protecting his body, everything like that. And so if you have fixed that part of what your team looks like, then okay, just make sure you sustain everything else. I mean, I don't think the Chiefs have to do a defensive trade, but what they're going to do is they're going to look for those bargains on the market. Guys are going to get cut. See today, Mike Pennell just got cut by the Bengals. That
People
man is going to be a Chief this week.
Back.
He will be in practice this week, Mike Pennell.
I'm surprised he's not already there today.
He's that's a slam dunk right there for that. So you're going to find those types of players and then add to the defense that way. It's not to say that they shouldn't add, but that's how they'll do it. They can do it that way and still sustain this and create a Super Bowl winning team.
Is it okay to be greedy though a little bit?
No, I understand. You want to be greedy, but it's not what the Chiefs have done.
How is anybody stopping this offense if Breece Hall is the running back? I just don't see it. They don't lose the Super Bowl. There's no chance.
Not many people have stopped it anyway.
They're not. They might. You're right. They might not really. The league might not have a chance against them anyway. But Breece Hall, man.
No, it's
been a minute since the Chiefs have had. When's the last time they've had a truly dynamic? It's like Kareem Hunt rookie year status. You know what I mean? Like Kareem Hunt the first time was the last time they have had that dude in the backfield making plays. I think Breece Hall would be. And first of all, I also think everything I see about Breece Hall makes me want to rescue him. I want him to have an opportunity. He seems like such a
You want to
It's not
trade for
fantasy.
Brees Hall
It's not
on your
for fantasy.
fantasy team and be
It's not
like,
for fantasy.
you want to know that it's happening, and so that way you can put the trade offers in.
No. I don't have Brees Hall on any of my teams. Right. I respect Brees Hall in like the way that he talks about the Jets losing and like takes on responsibility as though it's his fault, as though he's doing anything wrong. I just respect him as a player, and I think he deserves good things in his career.
That's fair.
It would be, let's get him to Kansas City. Let's get him a ring. All right. That's what I think is fair, equitable. I don't think any football fan would have a problem with this. It's so funny how people still, I mean, every Chiefs game, if you scroll social media, it's the refs did this to him. The refs gave him this. It's still, time is a flat circle when it comes to this stuff.
Chiefs didn't get their first penalty until the Commanders didn't get their first penalty until like late second quarter, early third or something like that.
Well, last night it was more like the Zach Ertz spot. People have
that was a bad spot.
It was a bad spot, but people have a huge misunderstanding of like, you still challenge a spot if you want to, Dan Quinn. Like can, the people have a misunderstanding of what the new, because they broke out the tennis play where the technology, there's no chain gang that's going to actually go out and measure it. They'll just use their technology. That's not to spot the football. Right. That is to measure without physically bringing the chains to the middle of the playing surface. That's simply to measure whether or not, based on their eyeballed spot, the referee's spot, whether or not the line to gain was achieved. You can still challenge the spot, though, and that's where people were confused. I thought it was a bad spot, too, but it was also one of those where it's like, that's not the technology is not right. The technology didn't change that one iota. It just changed the way that people are perceiving it, and they're jumping straight to the conclusion of, the Chiefs must have got a good break because of the technology that Josh Allen asked for. It's like, as though that would have changed that situation, which it would not have, right? So anyway.
875-KTGR. Give us a call or a text. What do the Chiefs need to do? The Chiefs need to do anything at the trade deadline? Give us your thoughts on it. 573-875-KTGR. Maybe look for Brees Hall. Maybe for
Brees Hall,
upgrade a running back, defense, whatever it might be.
I'm in a weird spot with the Chiefs right now because normally coming into a matchup with Josh Allen, I'm gung-ho Buffalo Bills guy.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know if right now I'm feeling what the Chiefs are doing. Like they're looking good.
It's real. It's real. Up next, Beau Pribula's ankle injury. It's obviously gotten real for Mizzou's quarterback situation. The injury expert Will Carroll weighs in on the injury itself and what it means for Beau and the Tigers going forward. That's next here on The Big Show.
Miss the latest edition of The Big Show? Catch up on demand with a full show podcast on the KTGR app. Download it now wherever you get your apps.
Your to-do list keeps growing. Stop and breathe, because Bax Homeworks has the ultimate team for getting things done in 2025. Big or small, they truly do it all. So simplify the workflow and leave all that to Bax. Bathroom remodels? Check. Building the best deck? Yep. Patching the drywall? Easy. What part of they do it all did you not understand? Schedule your free estimate today. Then sit back while Bax Homeworks does their thing. Find them on Facebook or at BaxHomeworks.com. Bax Homeworks, getting your to-do list done.
Some people are willing to drive hours for their favorite whatever it is. Favorite glazed donuts from a local bakery, or favorite slice from their hometown pizza place. At Boone Hospital Wound Healing Center, people drive from hours away because they know they're going to get a specialized treatment plan created just for them to get them back on their feet. Visit boone.health to learn more.
Real healing starts here. Boone Hospital Wound Healing Center.
My name is Josh Arnold, and I've been working at Zimmer Communications for over 5 years. When I first started at Zimmer, I was really impressed at all of the resources that they have available to you to succeed. I started at this job right out of college. I think I learned more here my first 3 to 6 months than I did in all of my time in my schooling in college. Working at Zimmer Communications, you really feel like you're part of a team. You don't feel like you're pitted against one another. It's a really fun atmosphere that allows me to excel in my job.
If you're up for the challenge, apply now at ZimmerCommunications.com.
Hit a deer, win a cow. Hit a deer, win a cow. Hit a deer, win a cow. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. Award-winning auto collision repair. Don't wait, we're great. We work with all insurance companies. We work with all insurance companies. Yes, we work with your insurance company. New Bloomfield, Missouri. FPPBodyShop.com. 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 Fletcher, Performance and Paint.
Buckeye is fired up for Tiger football as Mizzou takes on Texas A&M November 8th. Gear up for unbeatable deals on everything you need for tailgating, fall essentials, and all things farm, ranch, auto, home, and pet. Join the Buckeye Buyers Club for even more savings and keep the winning spirit going all season long. Buckeye, your farm, ranch, auto, home, pet, and outdoor living destination. Join us live from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 3300 Paris Road, Columbia. Go Tigers!
Everyone has their go-to game day outfit. Maybe it's a comfy black and gold hoodie or that old hat you wear because it still hasn't been to a losing game. Hi, this is Sophie Cunningham, and if you really want to stand out on game day, talk to the team at Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia. Rock your favorite team's colors with a beautifully designed, one-of-a-kind custom piece of jewelry from Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia, our hometown jeweler. MIZBETZ.
These beautiful moments begin at Betts. Begin at Betts.
At Fuse 32 Marketing, creativity isn't just encouraged, it's essential. We're growing as a marketing agency, which means we're ready to grow our team of social and digital marketing specialists, graphic designers, writers, and producers. At Fuse 32, we elevate our clients' brands by creating bold branding strategies and bringing fresh ideas to the table. We are Fuse 32 Marketing, and we're always looking for the next wave of creators to join us. Fuse 32, there's nothing we can't do. Apply now at fuse32.com.
Your daily fix of local sports lives here. This is The Big Show on KTGR.
Back here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy and Brenden here. We now check in with the injury expert, Will Carroll, who joins us on the KTGR hotline to talk about some key injuries across football. And for this week here locally, it's not just the focus on the NFL injuries. It's one with Mizzou quarterback Beau Pribula, who will on Saturday at Vandy had the ankle rolled up on, and it apparently, according to the reports, is a dislocated ankle without any bone breaks, which is kind of rare when it comes to that type of injury and that type of ankle dislocation. The early prognosis that seems through the reports is that, that maybe he could come back at the end of the regular season, but even that's pretty much a long shot. How do you view the timetable for one Beau Pribula and the type of injury that he sustained?
Yeah, this is one where you have to both credit and blame what happened. And a lot of people are saying it was dirty. I don't think it was. This was just circumstances. The defender grabbed at his foot, basically hugged it. And at the same time, he gets hit. Everybody's trying to keep him out of the end zone. And he goes back and over while his foot is held in position. Plus his weight is on it, obviously, at least for part of that. So the mechanism itself is, you couldn't have planned that. You wouldn't want to plan that, but it happens. And unfortunately, we see it all too many times. So because of that, the bone didn't give. Something's got to give in that situation. And it turned out the ligaments went first. And because they went so much, they basically overstretched, tore in some places. I'm going to guess there's at least one grade 3 where it actually ruptured in there given the motion, but the bone didn't have to. Bones are stronger. It depends on how you're hit, the mechanism of injury. But his was such that this is mostly, once they put it back in place, a really, really bad sprain. And so can you come back from that? Yes. I mean, you can come back from a broken bone. It just takes 6 to 8 weeks. So it's going to be a matter of how quickly does he heal from the sprains? Was there any other tissue damage in there? You got to think they've ruled out nerve and blood vessel damage because that can be life-threatening. But once it's back in there, if his ankle is stable, they can brace him up and see what happens. Can we guarantee it? No, but we'll see what the Missouri medical staff does with him.
And we'll see Matt Zollers in the interim as Mizzou tries to figure out a way to finish out the season strong. On to the Chiefs. They played last night on Monday Night Football, Will, and some injuries to note from that game. A player who did play in the game but left it toward the end with an injury is their running back, Isaiah Pacheco. They showed on the sideline him going through some tests with the trainers on that knee, and seemed to come away from that with maybe not the worst case scenario, seemed to be in pretty good spirits. But what's the news on him that we learned today with regard to the MCL that he's dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, this is the textbook example of how do you injure an MCL. You get hit on the outside of your knee, it bends it in. This is what the MCL does. It keeps it from going too far in. There's some stretching there. They probably knew that with the test. The MRI showed the grading. We don't know that yet. And how much time he misses is going to depend on the grading. At a grade 2, they'd have to let that heal up. You would have to put a really big brace on him, and they normally don't like to do that, especially with Hunt and Smith available, even though it's a big game next week. So I think he's going to miss a couple weeks, but not too much, especially with the bye coming up.
Well, Carroll, the injury expert here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Yeah, that'll be helpful for the Chiefs for potentially getting Pacheco back. It'll be interesting, Will, on the short week, how they try to treat Trey Smith. He did miss the game against Washington last night with a back injury that he suffered in the previous game, and it was held out of practice pretty much all week, was doubtful heading into the game. How do you view the starting right guard for the Chiefs as they get set for a big weekend in Buffalo?
Yeah, this is one we don't really have much information now. I was worried about that. We know that it's muscular rather than structural. It's a question of, like we talked about last week, you don't think about the back being a torsional issue, but he's got a twist. He's got to be able to move up and down. Is he able to do that? Is the short week going to cost him this one with the bye coming up? Is that going to help him? And they look to that. We've talked about this before. The Chiefs are very transparent. So I have a feeling we'll know very early in the process where he is and whether he's going to play. Indications are probably not, just because of the circumstances of the short week and the schedule behind it.
Will, when we talked about Beau Pribula, you mentioned that this is a thing that can happen, the ankle dislocation. Unfortunately, it seems to have been a similar case in the NFL with running back Cam Scadaboo for the New York Giants. What are the circumstances surrounding his situation? Is it any different at all from what we believe Beau Pribula is dealing with?
It's different in that there had to be surgery pretty quickly. And we're not exactly sure of that. The assumption is that he had a fracture, that it had to be pinned or put a rod in there to make sure everything's going right. There was also severe ligament damage. Anybody that saw that ankle not only out of place, but basically dangling. So you do worry about nerve damage in there. We'll see whether or not that's going to be the case. He's definitely out. And with some of the talk, this is just a more severe consequence. The dislocation is the motion. It came out of joint. But what you worry about is there's obviously going to be sprains, strains. The Achilles tendon is going to be overstretched. When you see the way that ankle moved, it's not supposed to move like that, and there's consequences. So hopefully the surgeons put him back together and he can come back next year, because he was a heck of a little player.
Sure was. Will Carroll, the injury expert here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Will, how do you view the odd situation, I guess, this week, if you can call it that, with Lamar Jackson, that listed, I suppose, as a full participant in practice all week, but I guess it's come under scrutiny whether that was actually true, and the Ravens saying, it was an honest mistake about how they were listing him. He ends up not playing this past weekend. He was a full participant in practice yesterday as they get set for a short week playing on Thursday night. I just wonder how you view all this situation and whether there is some scrutiny deserved for the Ravens on this sort of thing.
Yeah, they're going to take a nasty fine for this. You can't do this. The injury report is there for a very specific reason. And they say it was an honest mistake. And I'm not saying it wasn't honest, but it was a mistake. You're still allowed to make mistakes with the injury report for exactly the reason we've seen the NBA dealing with it. It has been there for gamblers. They don't want inside info getting out. Imagine if somebody knew Lamar wasn't going to play and puts bets in on Friday. Getting way ahead and basically screwing the sports book out of money it should have. So the reason they take this so seriously is gambling. The issue that the Ravens say is that what defines unlimited practice? A full practice sounds like you did everything. But we know quarterbacks don't do everything. They don't take contact during the week. They've got the red jerseys on. So the definition of it is spelled out. I've never actually seen it, but everybody should know it. And there's obviously people there, the personnel people that know exactly what is going on. So was it a mistake? Yeah, absolutely. But the NFL and the other leagues take it very, very seriously.
Will, another running back, doubling back to that game between Philly and New York. Saquon Barkley entered the injury tent quickly, but is there any concern for what his status could be moving forward for the Eagles, the big-time running back there?
Yeah, luckily they have a bye coming up, so he gets a week to rest. What he has is a fairly minor groin strain. They question, I talked to a source, and they said, would he play this week? Maybe. It's one of those where it'd be in question, but with the bye, they don't have to answer that question. But it's fairly minor, so they think after the bye, he'll be fine. He came out. He wasn't going to go back in, but they were already up. He had already had one heck of a game for my fantasy team, so I don't think it's too much of a concern in the long term.
Well, Carroll, the injury expert here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Of course, here locally, we're seeing when Luther Burden's going to get his real big shot with the Chicago Bears. He's been mixed in here and there the last few weeks and has had some good moments, but apparently now this week, unfortunately, in concussion protocol. How do you kind of see his situation as he tries to not only get back on the field but also continue to make some opportunities for himself?
Yeah, unfortunately, his big shot was to his head. That happens. It's a simple concussion, but we never know with those. You don't know the timing. He'll be going through the protocol like anyone with this injury and should be back out there. Most people recover from these in 7 to 10 days. We know a lot more about concussion even now than we did 5-10 years ago. We treat them completely differently. It's kind of crazy how much change it used to be. Don't get in the light, don't read, don't watch TV. Now it's get in the light, have some physical activity. So we're still learning how to deal with these. We're certainly not any good at preventing them.
Will, I want to switch to baseball with you and ask you about the crazy World Series game from last night. We've been clowning on Andy for not making it through all 18 innings, but your perspective on really, I think the most interesting angle from maybe, potential injury front would be the way that both managers had to start to figure out their pitching situations, and Yamamoto is warming up, volunteering his tribute to potentially come in to pitch that game. What was going through your mind as you were watching last night unfold?
Yeah, it's the World Series, so you're going to do some crazy things. I was told Blake Snell, who was doing his side work, he had done his side work before the game, as you normally do, but he was heading down there when Freddie Freeman finally won the game. On the other side, it's the same things. You've got to put people in the game. There's never been a position player that's thrown in the World Series. I was wondering about Ohtani. I mean, would they go with him a day early? They're saying he'd never leave. I still don't believe that. But now is the question. They've got Shane Bieber going tonight against Ohtani. Their bullpen is gassed. Both teams, both sides, they need these guys to go deep. It's almost imperative. It's also interesting that basically the Dodgers season may have come down to a guy that, has been DFA'd twice, didn't even make the playoff roster, wouldn't be on it if Alex Vesia didn't have his unfortunate personal issue. So it's kind of crazy where you find heroes who steps up in the moment. You certainly wouldn't think about a player like Will Klein, but there he was, and he did his job.
Pretty amazing. That's what stuff's made of in the World Series. We see those awesome stories. Will, what's new and under the knife?
Well, covering everything. We're watching how they're dealing with Bo Bichette, what they're going to do pitching-wise, a lot more details on that, and seeing exactly where this goes through what's been a tiring but classic World Series, seeing performances like we've never seen before. Ohtani 9 times on base. That's the second best World Series performance ever. That's pretty amazing. The other thing, I just want to toss this in.
Yeah.
Last night we saw 2 of the best pitchers of the generation in Scherzer and Kershaw, and that might be the last time we see Kershaw pitch. And it wasn't a great performance. He got his job done. He kept his team in the game, obviously. But watching him with a Fernando Valenzuela memorial patch and they cut to Sandy Koufax clapping in the crowd. I was like, that's a pretty good moment. That's baseball.
That was pretty well done. And we'll see what more key moments come from the rest of this series here. As the injury expert, Will Carroll, great to have him here on the Big Show, KTGR. Again, undertheknife.substack.com is where you find his great insights on Major League Baseball when it comes to injuries and so much more. Thanks for coming on the Big Show, Will. Hope you're well. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks a lot, boys.
Big Show's on at 4:46, KTGR and the KTGR app. It was great. I was sleeping through it, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll get to we'll get some other great moments from the World Series, I'm sure. You got to listen to it all on KTGR last night until 2 a.m. That was pretty cool. So you'll get a chance to listen, not tonight, but tomorrow night, Game 5 between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Under the bus coming up next. Brett Venables got eviscerated by Lane Kiffin. You got to hear this next.
Now, your local Sports Center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon, I'm Ben Hermes, and this local Sports Center is brought to you by Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Well, Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco is considered as week to week after suffering an MCL sprain in the Chiefs' 28-7 victory over the Washington Commanders last night, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. It is expected that the Chiefs will activate running back Elijah Mitchell, who has been a healthy scratch all year, as well as bring up running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the practice squad, while Pacheco is dealing with his injury. Kansas City will working on the short week, as their next game will be this Sunday as they head on the road to take on the Buffalo Bills at 3:25. Mizzou women's basketball is in action tonight as they are set to host Maryville in an exhibition game from Mizzou Arena. This will be the Tigers' only game before their season starts next Monday, when they will host the University of Central Arkansas. Tip-off for tonight's game is slated for 6:30 right here on KTGR. And the St. Louis Blues are in action tonight as they host the Detroit Red Wings. The Blues enter with a record of 3-5-1 with 7 points on the season, while the Red Wings enter with a record of 6-3 and have 12 points in the league standings this season. Also, Detroit defeated St. Louis on Saturday 6-4 in the Motor City. Puck drop at the Enterprise Center is at 7:15. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is next.
I'm tracking showers overnight and early tomorrow, but rain wraps up for most by noon tomorrow with rain totals between a ½ inch and an inch across the area. Temperatures will be cool in the 50s during the day, but we drop to the upper 30s Wednesday night as clouds clear out. Sunny and cool weather is expected the rest of the week with chilly temperatures for trick-or-treating on Friday night. I'm meteorologist Nate Splater, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
All the hard hits.
He's under pressure, and down he goes. Inside the 20-yard line.
All the jaw-dropping moments.
Makes a man miss. 30, 20, near sideline, 10, 5, touchdown.
KTGR is your home for the high school football game of the week.
Oh, my goodness. It's the district quarterfinals as the Father Tolton Trailblazers visit the North Callaway Thunderbirds.
Coverage starts with high school kickoff Friday night at 6 on Mid-Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
Macadoodles does selection like nobody else. If you're looking for ingredients to make the perfect new drink, look no further. Why settle for boring? Macadoodles has you covered. With Columbia's widest variety of beer, wine, and spirits, you're sure to find something new and exciting when you shop with Macadoodles. Come experience the difference in selection at Macadoodles today. Macadoodles delivers world-class customer service and unmatched selection at unbeatable prices. Who does selection like nobody else? Macadoodles does.
On game day, every needs a. And every tailgate needs Kingsford charcoal. And a match. Whatever lot you're in, whatever you're grilling up for your fellow Tiger tailgaters, Kingsford charcoal is the official charcoal of Missouri football. Without it, you're just standing around in a parking lot. Since 1920, Kingsford has been proud to fire up your tailgates with friends and family. Kingsford.com.
1851 Underground in Fulton is a unique spot with delicious menu items like the prime rib sandwich, sliced and stacked with pepper jack cheese, caramelized onion, creamy horseradish, and crispy onion straws, all on ciabatta bread. Grab some friends and check out the daily happy hour from 3 to 5, weekends included. Enjoy a craft beer or a cocktail. It's no secret, but it is underground. 1851 Underground Tap and Grill in the historic Brick District, downtown Fulton.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
As a business, customers are your number one priority. You need them to survive, and you're always looking for more ways to reach them. That's where ShopMidmo.com comes in. When you're part of ShopMidmo.com, hundreds of potential customers will see your offers helping you build your base. ShopMidmo.com is an amazing tool for restaurants, retail, entertainment, and other places that offer great experiences. Find out how ShopMidmo.com can give your business a jumpstart. Contact us today at ShopMidmo.com.
ShopMidmo.com.
Winter's on the way, so now's the time to plan your tree pruning. Here's why. In winter, trees are dormant, which means there's less risk of disease. Plus, without all those leaves, it's way easier to see exactly what needs trimming. The educated, licensed, insured, and experienced crew at Advanced Tree Solutions knows how to protect your trees and your wallet. But spots are filling fast, so schedule your winter pruning today at AdvancedTreeSolutionsLLC.com. Advanced Tree Solutions, LLC, your tree's best friend.
The best local sports talk around on your ride home. You've got The Big Show on KTGR.
It's time to go under the bus on The Big Show.
Lane Kiffin will get his licks in when he gets the chance. I mean, did you see his press conference today? Or I guess it was either today or yesterday, when he was responding to Brent Venables' comment after their game, almost obviously won, but Brent Venables said something along the lines of, well, we were the better team. We just got, out-executed.
Yeah, I think a reporter brought this up to Lane. And then it was him kind of responding yesterday.
Which, I mean, Lane responded, I guess, saying that he didn't really realize that he had said that, like Brent Venables said that. And so he just kind of had more of a nonchalant answer at first, but said like, oh, that's an interesting take. That's a hot take. And then he went to the same reporter because the reporter had a follow-up, but then Lane kept on interrupting the reporter, thinking about other ways, saying like, well, maybe he thought we had that he had the better team when we beat him 55-19 when in the national championship game, or when we beat them 45-4. Obviously, talking about their battles when they were coordinators, like
with
Venables
different teams, right?
Yeah,
This
Clemson.
wasn't at Ole Miss. This was elsewhere.
And Lane Kiffin at Alabama and other places like that. The other battles that they've had, but just like going on and on. Brent Venables has had some bad PR this year, man. He just has.
I know we're talking about a lot of different coaching stuff popping up. I wonder how bad it would have to get for the Sooners.
Well,
for them to consider something in seat, not predicting it based on anything that's happened, because they're still they've only got the 2 losses at this point.
2 losses, big game this weekend against Tennessee.
Totally could still make the playoff, right?
Yeah.
But if they fall at Tennessee, they go to Bama, then we go to Norman. I'm just saying, it could be it's
things
still
could fall off big time.
It could, and that's true for everybody. Could fall off for Mizzou. All right, anything could happen. But that's what I'll be watching, that Tennessee-Oklahoma game closely to see how he responds and that program responds. Because Kiffin, I don't think Kiffin was wrong. What are you talking about? You're the better team. It's just not a good look with losing a game like that. That was another big game for CFP implications, and Oklahoma drops it. I don't know if you can be saying that after, even if it's true.
Saying you're the better team without winning games has not gone well for people who have said that in the past, as we know here in Mizzou land.
Under the bus.
For certain people out there, I'm not naming names or anything like that, but that's been the general sentiment.
It's time for the sweetest thing in sports. on The Big Show.
Travis Kelce tied a Chiefs record yesterday. He's got the most touchdowns in Chiefs history for a single player. He's now tied with Priest Holmes for that record. I felt kind of old yesterday because I was watching the post game with Scott Van Pelt, and he was saying, the kids these days need to learn about Priest Holmes. And I'm like, the kids don't know about Priest Holmes? And I'm like, oh, shoot. Maybe they don't.
They might not. Yeah.
Dang it. Priest Holmes was awesome when he was with the Chiefs, obviously. But, hey, the fact that Kelce has already caught a running back in that sense is pretty impressive. So well done, Travis Kelce.
Yep, and like you said, when we were talking Chiefs, I mean, he is having a season where he looks like Travis Kelce, and I think that's only going to be aided by the fact that they've got other weapons around him in a way that we have not consistently seen this type of embarrassment of riches for the Chiefs offense in a hot minute, for sure.
So we'll see what their next edition looks like. Big one against the Bills this weekend. Bills very much looked in the good after maybe a few questions from their last few games, but sure enough, they put the hurting on the Panthers. So we'll see what that matchup looks like. We'll also give what else we thought was good and bad and ugly from week 8 of the NFL season. You can give us your good, bad, and ugly as well. 573-875-KTGR to text it in to us. You can also leave a comment on our YouTube channel at KTGR Sports and on Facebook at facebook.com/KTGR Big Show. And at 525, we'll also talk some more college football, and we will rank the current college football job openings for head coaches. Because why not? That's next.
Let's do it.
Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. It's available right here in Missouri, and it is so easy to play. Just predict whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Then you use those picks to put together an entry, and if those picks are right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. There are millions of fans out there that have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and you can be next. And you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you sign up right now. Download the app today and sign up with promo code KTGR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
My name is Taylor, and I have had insurance with Phyllis Nichols and her team for over 9 years. One of my first and only auto claims for me personally came when we were on a long road trip, and I was maybe following a semi-truck a little too close, and we all know when those rocks pop up, crack your windshield. First thing I did the next day was call Phyllis. Phyllis handled the whole thing. She got us into, I think, one of the local vendors to replace our windshield, and within 24 hours, it was done, it was over, and made it a very seamless process.
The warm scent of maple spiced coffee fills the air. And is that a hint of Caribbean rum? That must be Caldy's Coffee Highlander Grog Brewing, our decadent maple spiced blend that's won fans nationwide. Loved for how it smells and for how it makes you feel. Each cup brings back the comfort of a classic coffee morning. Cozy, nostalgic, maple spiced coffee. Shop Caldy'sCoffee.com for your bag today. Also available in pods.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, in Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
I'm Christine Lisi. Heat guard Terry Rozier on leave amid allegations he manipulated his performance in a March 2023 NBA game as part of gambling schemes, was facing an $8 million tax lien from the IRS in November of that same year, according to county clerk records obtained by ESPN. Shohei Ohtani's unique talents on full display tonight as a pitcher and batter when he starts on the mound for the Dodgers in Game 4 of the World Series versus Shane Bieber and the Blue Jays. ESPN radio coverage in 1 hour. Dodgers up 2-1 after last night's win in 18 innings. So what impact might that 6-hour game have on the teams? ESPN MLB analyst Eduardo Perez.
Today, I expect runs. I expect a lot of runs today. The bullpens, they're depleted. They're exhausted. Hitters are starting to recognize the pitching. Now everyone has been exposed to this World Series. To me, the hitters are going to be on. The pitchers are going to be exhausted. It's going to be a hitters galore.
NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder Chet Holmgren, back tightness out tonight versus the Kings.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
From Faro,
15 to the 10, to the house,
Bush,
back to the wall, and it's got her.
and Arrowhead.
Touchdown, Kansas City.
To your speakers.
This is the big show, baby.
Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is The Big Show with Andy and Brenden on KTGR.
All right, it's a football-filled 5 o'clock hour of The Big Show today, as we will do the good, the bad, and the ugly, going through everything that happened this past weekend in the NFL, capped off by a nice Chiefs win last night, of course, on Monday Night Football. And then at 5:25, we're going to get into the topic that has been described as noise by Mizzou's head football coach, but it's not going away anytime soon. And in fact, it continues to be added to the coaching carousel. We're going to rank the current openings in college football as that situation just continues to ramp up throughout the sport, and it's not even November yet. But we'll get into all that on The Big Show. 573-875-5847 if you'd like to call or text us to join the show with your thoughts. But first, it's 5 o'clock.
It's time for the top 5 at 5 on The Big Show. Number 1.
If you want to trade away for curtain number 1, you can have curtain 1.
You know, I saw the Chiefs kind of sleepwalk through the first half, it seemed, last night against the Commanders. They went into halftime tied 7-7 and largely didn't feel all that upset by how they played, even though it was kind of sloppy. Both offenses obviously looking that way, but was not concerned that they were going to get the job done. And sure enough, turned it on the second half, 3 straight touchdown drives. And that essentially ended the game. Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdown passes, 299 yards passing. Travis Kelce, 99 yards receiving, and also tied the Chiefs' all-time record for career touchdowns. He's now tied with Priest Holmes at 83 for his career. And the Chiefs keep on rolling. It sets up a big matchup with the Bills this Sunday, and supremacy in the AFC, it will certainly be solidified for now with whoever wins that game.
Number 2.
Number 2, your timing is impeccable.
And the rumors continue to swirl around Eli Drinkwitz, of course, with the coaching openings growing throughout all of college football, mostly major college football. Today, we don't hear from Eli Drinkwitz at all. It's obviously a bye week, no regular media availability, no Tiger Talk tonight either. The next chance we get to hear from Eli Drinkwitz publicly will be tomorrow during the SEC coaches teleconference. We'll see how he responds to, I'm sure, added questions about this, but certainly the Beau Pribula injury and what the Tigers' plan will be going forward with Matt Zowers.
Number 3.
We get our first look at Mizzou women's basketball tonight under new head coach Kelly Harper. The Tigers playing an exhibition game against Maryville this evening. Their regular season opener will be on Monday of next week when they take on Central Arkansas. But just like, the men taking on Kansas State on Friday night, just your first chance to see what the players look like under this new regime and Kelly Harper. So that's kind of the intrigue there. And, the outcome of the game, obviously not really in question. They're playing Maryville, but interested to see what key players could emerge from Mizzou women's basketball this year.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it.
And by the way, you can hear that exhibition on KTGR tonight starting at 6:15. Blues lost their 4th straight last night, 6-3 at the Penguins. Joel Hofer giving up 5 goals on 25 shots faced. Yeah, the goaltending really is an issue. Blues trying to pick themselves back up tonight as they take on the Red Wings. But the start of the year, not what fans I'm sure were hoping.
Number 5.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Stop.
No, I did not watch all 18 innings of Dodgers Blue Jays last night, but I will not take any slander. How many of you have been to an 18-inning game before?
That's The Big Show's top 5 at 5 on KTGR.
Because I have 573-875-KTGR.
All right, let's hear the lore. What you got? What game were you at?
Astros Braves, 2005 NLDS. Went 18 innings.
2005.
That was 20 years ago, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm old. But went with my folks, obviously. I was a kid then, and the nosebleed was where our tickets were selected, obviously. That's where our tickets were. And we looked around the stadium. It's obviously packed at Minute Maid at the time. And we're looking for a spot. Like, we don't know if we want to try. Let's see if we can maybe upgrade.
Move down a little bit.
Well, maybe not even move down, but just like better vantage point, something like that. We ended up not moving down. We just moved sideways. There was up near the air vents of that stadium, like just near the roof, top of the roof, and behind home plate, essentially, there's this concrete slab that had nobody on it. Essentially, like behind this, it's like the seats were like cut out, and there's this concrete slab instead, and nobody's sitting there. We're like, all right, let's go over there, and we watched the game, and
watched it from the slab.
Stayed all 18 innings.
Did it stay packed for 18 innings? Did anybody leave?
Well, not really. We were thinking about leaving after the 8th inning. Maybe a few people probably left, but it still seemed very packed. You could feel it, like the tension every single inning. It was loud and everything like that. But after we said, okay, if they don't score this 8th inning, we're leaving, because they were down 6-1.
Oh, really?
And they're down 6-1. Braves Adam LaRoche hit a grand slam at some point early in the game, and it's like Braves are gonna tie this thing up at 2. We're gonna have Game 5 in Atlanta in a couple days.
Right.
Then things start brewing in the 8th. Lance Berkman hits a grand slam to cut it to 1. We're like, oh, cool. So we'll stay for the 9th, but we're probably not gonna win this game.
Yeah.
And then 2 outs, bases empty, and Brad Osmus is at the plate. And we're like, okay, well, we're definitely not winning this game. Then Brad Osmus hits a home run just an inch above the yellow line in left center field. It's off the wall. It's not even a fence. It's just above the yellow line where it bounced. People thought it was still in play, but they're like, no, it's a home run. The umpire signaled it that way. No replay back then. So yeah, it's a home run. And so it was tied 6-6 after that. And then inning by inning, we're like, well, we're not leaving now. We stuck around. And then sure enough, 18th inning, Chris Burke, bang. Astros win the series.
Wow.
That was it.
20 years ago.
20
I'm
years
watching
ago,
some
man.
highlights of this now. That's
Roger
crazy, man.
Roger Clemens pitched the last 3 innings of it.
Yeah, I'm scrolling this on YouTube and see him walking around there, and I'm like, man. That's what you got to do, though, in those games. You got to be like, all right, what starters are going to volunteer to step up here? Yamamoto would have done it last night, I guess, but didn't get to the 19th inning where he would have had to. I was asked earlier today the longest game I've ever been at, and I don't think I've ever had one that long. I remember, I think it was 2018, was covering the Cardinals. Dexter Fowler hit a home run in the 14th inning. Of a game, but I don't know if I've ever been to one that was any lengthier than that. But it took some stamina last night. Around the 16th inning, Andy, I said, all right, I am going to have some snacks while I watch the rest of this game. Like, I don't know how long this thing's going to go. It's well past my eating hours. But
at some point, you have stayed up past 12:30, 1 a.m., and you're like,
you got to break
committed
down
now.
Yep. No, nothing would have gotten me into bed at that point, but it was just funny to see different group chats and people that slept through some of it, but now they're locked in, and there's, I'm like, oh, I wonder if this guy will wake up. Like it was a fun experience, and I was having fun with it on Twitter, thinking about this. Like, I thought, what would be better than you get to the 18th inning and both teams score 1 run? Like just to troll.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani gets on base 9 times, and it's not even his best game of the past 2 weeks.
No.
I mean, we're seeing some stuff this postseason.
I love that the Blue Jays have just come out and said, yeah, sorry, he's not going to. We're just going to walk him. Sorry, you do not get to have an impact moment with your bat. You can pitch against
homers,
us, whatever, but
2 doubles and 5 walks in a game. And that's not the best he's done this month in a game?
No. It's not.
He's different. He's not.
We are watching
the
real. Best baseball player ever.
That guy is not real. Is all I mean, he's just unbelievable, and I can't wait to watch him do both tonight again.
It's something else, man. But But no, I decided after the top of the 11th last night, man, I don't want to see the Dodgers walk it off. Like, it's just,
you knew they were gonna too.
I knew
the
I
Blue
was
Jays
going,
had
yeah,
nobody left to
eventually.
bat. I mean, Vladdy was like their only guy.
Yeah,
Springer got hurt.
Springer got hurt, and
Bichette was out of the game. They just
Right.
didn't have the offense at that point.
Yeah, so I was just saying I can only be disappointed by what happens the rest of the way, so I'm just gonna go to bed.
I wasn't though. Like by the time it happened, you kind of felt like Freddie Freeman was probably one of the very, very few candidates that could potentially do it. There was one, I don't even know if it was the 14th or the 15th, but Will Smith hit one that everybody thought was gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, it's all. And I my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing with the outfielder camped in on the warning track to catch that ball. But that was, it was nuts, dude. Will Klein,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
This
man.
guy was electric. Like what both in Lauer for the Blue Jays, what those guys were doing, just eating innings when that's just not really like you try to think about the teams that you know well. Like I'm trying to think like what would if the Cardinals were in that spot, what would the equivalent have been? It would be like Roddery Munoz coming out and they need Roddery Munoz to be able to do a roster and he pitches 4 shutout innings. It was craziness last night. It was so cool to watch. And the Dodgers won, so we're probably not getting baseball on Halloween on Friday. Like I think the Dodgers are about to they're about
win,
to Dodger.
win 2 in a row.
This thing is cooked after last night. I would be shocked. I hope I'm wrong. I'll be watching tonight, rooting for the Blue Jays to even it up so that we at least get a game 6. But how do you come back from one like that?
We have lineups. I'm
sure
in it. Is Bichette in there or Springer? I don't know about Springer.
Probably
He's
not.
Probably not. He took that swing and he just knew right away. Like, can't do it.
No,
Bichette's in there, but no Springer. So, it's
Ohtani's back in there leading off. Are they? So do you think they're just going to walk him to lead off the game? Like, they're just going to be like, you know what? Enjoy. Go to first.
He can still make an impact by being the best pitcher out there that he can be. But we're not going to have you. I mean, you're obviously making an impact by being an extra runner, but that is the least amount of impact that we can. That's the most impact that we can stomach with a guy like him. Just no.
What is the record for the most consecutive plate appearances? Reggie Jackson and Max Muncy did it last year, 12 times in the postseason. He's going to break that tonight. If they walk him 4 times, Ohtani was 9 for 9 yesterday. What did he get on base in his prior at bats the night before? I don't remember. It's historic stuff that we are witnessing with Shohei Ohtani. That's the only solace I will take in the fact that the Dodgers are going to win the 2nd consecutive World Series is that we are witnessing things that nobody else has ever done with him.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, why does it have to be the Dodgers, man? Come on.
I know.
It's just 573-875-KTGR. We will have, again, Mizzou women's basketball coverage tonight. Their exhibition game against Maryville at 6:15. You can hear World Series Game 5 tomorrow night on KTGR with coverage starting at 6 o'clock. All right, let's get to the music and cue it up here after another NFL weekend in the books. Good, bad, and ugly from Week 8 of the NFL season. 573-875-KTGR if you want to call or text us with your good, bad, and downright ugly. Chiefs and the good, obviously. We talked a lot about that.
They're elite.
Yeah, they will be good for the rest of the year. We'll see how good they are against the Bills, who are also very good. Like, they should very much be in the good, even though I think the Panthers this week really are ugly. But both of those colliding makes for a 31-point game. So I think we can acknowledge both.
Yes, the Bills, coming off of 2 straight losses, and then they had their bye. I kind of thought the Bills would be a tough customer this week, and they certainly were. So they're in the good. I'll give the Ravens credit. The Ravens being favored over the Bears, and that was still the case after Lamar Jackson. They were -7, and then Lamar Jackson injury clarifies they're -3. But I said, man, there's got to be a reason the Ravens are favored here, and they handled it. 2-touchdown win over the Bears. So it was time. They had to get going now, I think, in order to really still kind of be in the mix. But they got that win, and if they're able to go on a bit of a run here, get Lamar back. I mean, they play the Dolphins this week. Vikings are in shambles right now. Browns, Jets. They've got the upcoming schedule to get back into this thing. but it had to start there with the Bears game, I thought.
And we'll see with Lamar Jackson potentially coming back on Thursday. I mean, we'll see.
He's practicing, but that didn't mean anything last week.
Right.
So.
That's really
They
weird.
got to get fined for it. I know we
They
talked
have
with
to.
Beau Carroll.
Yes.
That's bad. That's actually ugly.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing,
I
guys?
agree with that. Can't mess with those. And can't say, oh, we didn't know. It's not
Sorry.
a mistake. Like, no, you know the rules. You know what means full practice and what means limited practice. And you manipulated it, even if you
they
thought
should
it was
get
an
popped
honest
for that.
mistake.
Yeah.
Still a mistake. All right. Who's in the bad?
Cowboys defense.
Definitely
Broncos,
in the bad.
I mean, it was 44-24, and they should have been a close game. Their defense was just non-existent. I'll put the Bengals there. I mean, look, the Jets scored 23 points in the fourth quarter of a game that was over.
Yeah.
It was 31-16, which is still only a 2-possession game. I understand. The Bengals scored in the fourth quarter, but they still lose 39-38 to the Jets. Good on Justin Fields. He continued to refer to Woody Johnson's comments as outside noise. He said, I know he's
That's
going
very
with the
much
team.
inside noise, but yeah.
Still outside noise to me. Which was just, you got to
Well
sell
done.
the team after that, by the
Yeah.
way. If the quarterback that you talk that kind of trash on gets it done like that and then calls you out in the post game, you got to sell the team. But good on the Jets, good on Justin Fields, but bad on the Bengals. I mean, we know that the Bengals aren't very good this year, but they would have been 500. They would rather wide open AFC wildcard picture. That was a bad loss at home.
They will, if Zach Taylor is not fired by January 5th.
He should be fired. Yes.
Yeah, man. Like,
he's not going to last there.
No, can't at this point. And I know that they've done a terrible job, I think, of constructing that defense. It hasn't necessarily been the coaching of it on that side of the ball, I think.
Front office has got some blame in this.
Front office. But like Zach Taylor saying goodbye to Lou Anarumo, who is a good defensive coordinator, and he's showing how good he is over at the Colts.
Yeah. It wasn't working, though, last year. Like, we got to admit, like, if you can't change out every player and the front office isn't willing to do what it needs to do on the personnel side, they tried to switch the coaching, and it didn't help. You're right. But they couldn't just do nothing, I think, is what they thought. And what they did is not helped.
And what they now need to do is trade their best defensive player, and that's just going to make things even worse.
Yep, because they couldn't figure out a way to sign him and get him on board. They signed everybody to the offense to support Joe Burrow, and now Joe Burrow, once again, is not healthy. So,
573-875-KTGR. Call or text us with your good, bad, and ugly from NFL Week 8.
Speaking of nightmare, ugly, the Cam Scatterbo injury. It's an ankle dislocation, kind of like Beau, and I think maybe worse than Beau's. Given that he had to have surgery on it already. That sucks. The imagery of Jackson Dart, just you could read his lips and you could tell how disappointed he was when he saw that injury. Pure Cam Scatterbo kind of like was reaching out for teammates, like give me a hand, help me up, and his foot's like facing the wrong direction on his body. And he was like ready. He's like, yeah, I'll rub some dirt on it. That dude, I mean, it's hard not to like him. To get a standing O at the link by Eagles fans tells you that Cam, and I know I kind of called him, what did I say? He's Cody Schrader with better PR. And, Cody Schrader was down there on the sideline at Vandy. Got to see him walking around. Yeah. He should be in the NFL, but Cam Scatterbo, I mean, I shouldn't be derogatory about the guy, and certainly not with the injury. I just, he got an opportunity, he ran with it, and it stinks to see that season cut short based on the way that it was trending for the Giants, because those guys were turning into a lot of fun. So ugly. The injuries of it all, Andy, I'm over it when it comes to the football injuries.
There's been some bad ones for sure, and they're not going to stop anytime soon. We say this a lot every single year, but it's just kind of the nature of it. The fact that it happened to that player was really unfortunate, because he was ready to kind of take the league by storm, if we're being
him and
really
Dart
honest.
were the two. I mean, that duo was just the two guys that they weren't starters to begin the year, but they were on a mission.
You were going to see it wouldn't have happened this year because they film all of that stuff in the offseason, but you were going to see so many commercials with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, and you might still next season when you're watching all these games, like that'll probably happen for you. We'll see what that means for the Giants. I mean, they're done. It's just that was the exciting part about them, but they're not going to be able to climb back into anything meaningful. And look, I'll say good on the Eagles, though. Like,
needed to.
That was a game that maybe you saw as a little bit trappy with the Eagles potentially as they head into a bye and they have a tougher schedule coming up after that. Could have been a game where the Giants maybe rise up and beat them at home, but no, it was well taken care of.
It was, and like I did think the Eagles were in a good spot this weekend. By the time you realize, okay, the Giants just beat them 2 weeks ago. The Eagles are reeling a little bit. They're going to need to have their get back. And, actually, jurisdiction of legality, I looked at it on Sunday morning and said, Eagles, Patriots, Bills, Ravens, all favored, all going to roll. And so I put those together and got a parlay home with that in a jurisdiction of legality coming back from Tennessee.
Interesting.
It was just, I just thought there were those were going to be some of the teams that, like, they were all, like, other than the Ravens, I think they were all a touchdown favorite. And I'll credit the Patriots. Like, that's another one where you would say, maybe there's a trap of playing that Cleveland Browns defense and slipping up, and they didn't. They dominated them as well. So there were some really good performances from teams that I think kind of needed to put their foot down this week. I don't know how to eviscerate verbally the Falcons any more than I can to just say, what in the hell are we doing? 34-10 to the Dolphins at home. To the Dolphins, Andy. That's good job to Mike McDaniel for getting them up off the mat, I guess. But that to me is more about the Falcons than it is the Dolphins, because the Falcons have shown us some really good things, and they've shown us 2 duds now. 30-0 they lost to the Panthers, and now this to the Dolphins. Why can't we find an element of consistency? I know no Michael Penix for this game, but like Kirk Cousins is not the reason you gave up 34 points.
And why are you only giving 9 carries to Bijan Robinson? Right?
I guess game script because they were down, but you're right. Like you have to involve him as much as you can.
Yeah.
Or if he's only getting 9 carries, it better be because he's got 12 receptions.
He did get 3 catches, so 12 total touches. That's not enough, though.
No, that might be it. And again, you would think, okay, negative game script where you're trailing would maybe be an instance where you would kind of dump it off to your running back. That's the fewest catches he's had in a game since September 14th. Mm-hmm. He's 4, 5, 6 catches every game. They just were terrible. That was pathetic, ugly performance by the Falcons.
Yeah, I can't see them being a playoff team, or at least if they backed into it, even a serious playoff team.
Their record is 3-4. The NFC, I think, has too many solid quality wildcard contenders for them to be in the mix. Especially, like, again, if they win that game, handle their business against the Dolphins, I'm not treating them like this. That was a season-defining L, in my opinion, for Atlanta.
Tampa Bay is just going to lean back and win that division, huh? That's
yes.
Yeah.
And it hasn't mattered who's healthy, who's not, what it is, what it isn't. Like, they played the Saints. So, again, that's another team that you look at and go, okay, handle your business. And they did. Saints are now benching Spencer Rattler. They're going to go with Tyler Suck moving forward. Shuck moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Bucs they're in a good spot. And their schedule, like, they've got enough of those. They play enough of those divisional opponents yet. And they also still have the Dolphins. They host the Cardinals. Like, they're going to clean up 10, 11 wins, I feel like, at a minimum. There's some tough games there for sure. But they're going to be, that's the representative from that division.
Call or text us 573-875-KTGR. Your good, bad, ugly from week 8 of the NFL season. Let's get to some texts here. Niner A. Gotta put my Niners in the bed. In the bad. I know we have bunch of injuries, but that defense was bad and the offense was bad. Niners were bad.
Stroud looked good, though. I mean, he threw 1 pick, but 30 of 39, 318 and 2.
That's accurate. Yeah,
he was very good, very accurate. They ran the ball decently. We saw more of Woody Marks in this game. Spread it around. Like, I guess, Andy, what stands out to me, and I'll give the Texans credit for this more so than I'll bash on the Niners. To do it with no Nico Collins and spread the ball around the way that they did without him I thought that was a really solid performance.
4 field goals from Kaimi Fairbairn. He's the GOAT.
He's pretty good.
I mean, it was
that kind of game, though. That was the kind of game that
they possessed
defense
for 41 minutes, man. That
Texans defense I was kind of getting a little bit. I don't know if you saw some of the D'Amico Ryans comments this past week about getting mad about the media not giving him enough favorable coverage, and the reporters in the room are going, D'Amico, what do you? I mean, we've written a lot of really
Last 2
positive
years
stories,
were really good, and now all of a
highlighting
sudden,
your program.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of pushback, and you're starting to. He was very disrespectful with that exchange, in my opinion. So,
I agree.
But these coaches at this level, they're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. I don't have to think he handled that well, but I can understand that you're gonna have some moments that you maybe regret later. But that didn't show well for him. But at least his team showed well on Sunday.
I go back and forth now on D'Amico Ryans. Like, can I be honest with you?
Too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We did top 5, bottom 5 NFL head coaches last week. Our ranking. I thought about D'Amico for the bottom 5.
Really?
5th worst. I thought about it. I felt it was going to be a little too unfair because why would you do that for a guy who has won back-to-back division titles? And look, progress is not linear, but like you still have to decide what to do. Like, great for the defense, but you've got to figure out the other side of the ball. And when you say goodbye to one offensive coordinator and you bring in another that has seemingly made things worse, well, then that has to get evaluated.
Who's their guy this year?
It's
their OC.
It's I gotta look it up. I actually don't even know off the top of my head. It's Nick Caley. Nick Caley is the offensive coordinator.
That's been very uninspiring.
Yeah.
His background, big heavy Patriots background, bounced around to the Los Angeles Rams. Not a huge resume. It's his first year as an OC. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I would say I'll give it a little more time because, again, I credit what they did without their best weapon at receiver in the game on Sunday against the Niners defense that, like, we saw Sean McVay's offense largely get shut down by the Niners just a few weeks ago. So it maybe just needs some time to kind of come into his own, Nick Caley. But, yeah, I think Ryans is one of those coaches that clearly as a former player, like his players buy into the system and the defense is almost beyond reproach. They get after it, but needs to have the right people in place on the other side of the ball and delegate a little bit of that responsibility to make sure that, like, he kind of stays in his lane and the machine can stay well-oiled. But we'll see. I don't think he has an understanding of what the media's function is, and it's kind of like Deshaun Foster. Was he the one where he's like, how are we covering our program? Like, there's just some stuff that I see where I'm like, all right. But I think Ryans will be okay there. I think he's got I think they'll be okay in that division, especially.
Right. Well, yeah, they can certainly get back in their division.
You can afford it. You can afford a little bit of a bump in the road with AFC South.
Jared texting in, my only comment, the good. Broncos win big. How you like them apples, Andy? Man.
They did look good, and Andy's...
I have more egg on my face for that. That's fine.
They will have to lose games, by the way, for the Chiefs to win the West. Broncos will have to lose. Maybe your Texans can do it.
Chiefs can still win twice.
They play them twice.
Texans host the Broncos this weekend, but I think the Broncos will win that game.
It's a double whammy for Andy, though. If the Texans win, great for Houston. If the Broncos lose, great for Kansas City.
Wonderful week if that happens. Yeah. Like it'll be interesting. And then the Chiefs play the Bills later that night on that Sunday. So, yeah, we'll see. But look, the Broncos schedule lines up so well, man. Like they get the Raiders still twice. They haven't played the Raiders yet. They get the Commanders, who are not off the mat.
They host the Packers, and I want to put the Packers in the good. Anytime you're facing a former legend of your team, like they did on Sunday night in a place like Pittsburgh, that I was on the Steelers for that one. I thought the Steelers would end up, getting it done with Aaron Rodgers. Packers dominated that second half. But if you're looking at that Broncos schedule, I maybe do have some questions about, how many games that they even end up losing. It's not to say that they're a talent level of a team that goes 13-4, but if that was their record, like you said, Texans, Raiders, Commanders, Raiders, hosting the Packers, hosting the Jaguars, hosting the Chargers. Plus, they play the Chiefs twice. Other than the Chiefs games, man, there's not a lot of losses on that schedule for Denver.
No. That'll be tough to overcome.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It will be a very interesting divisional race. Call or text us with your good, bad, and ugly, 573-875-KTGR here on The Big Show as we continue on here on KTGR and the KTGR app. Up next, well, for no reason whatsoever, we're just going to rank the college football head coach openings as they stand right now. Give us your ranking next here on The Big Show.
Breaking down the Tigers, Cardinals, Chiefs, and more like no one else. The Big Show continues next on KTGR.
This is Kim with Hearing Aid Consultants. I am truly honored to be voted Jefferson City's best, and that wouldn't have happened without our genuine and outstanding patients. We focus on continually serving those struggling with hearing loss with the best value in hearing aid technology in the area. If you are interested in a comprehensive hearing evaluation and solutions, please see us in Jefferson City, Hearing Aid Consultants in Allmake Repair Lab. We are here for you today so you can hear tomorrow. HearingAidConsultants.com.
From Branson Landing to the Capitol Dome, Union Station to the Tigers' home. Big old service is Missouri's best. Our trusted team outpaces the rest.
Get our healthy car special for only $39.95 from your Missouri-owned and operated Big O.
Show me state coverage wherever you go. We've got you covered at Big O.
Right there. That hole opens up, and he did not hesitate to hit it.
Seriously.
You don't have to live like this. Just trying to watch football and laugh at obviously hilarious things the broadcasters say. Your favorite team plays outside. You should be watching them outside on a Crutch's deck.
Yeah, he got penetration there, but he just couldn't finish it.
Get a custom outdoor football watching oasis with Crutch's Custom Exteriors. True beauty is on the outside. CrutchesCustomExteriors.com.
Winter workouts are fun? Sure, if you love fighting frostbite just to fight for a spot on the elliptical. This winter, skip the cold in the crowd and win $500 towards an at-home gym with Play It Again Sports. Starting on November 3rd, stop in, scan the QR code at the register, and you're entered to win. But hurry, your last day to register is November 9th. Win $500 in fitness equipment and enjoy a warmer workout this winter. Play It Again Sports in Columbia. Think of them first so you don't finish last. Play It Again Sports, ColumbiaMo.com.
This weekend, cancel your plans. Brunch is calling at the Dive Bar in Columbia. Start with biscuits, not just any biscuits, local made, buttermilk, sweet corn, even gluten-free, smothered in scratch-made gravy, pork sausage, or the chorizo. Don't forget the loaded biscuit, fluffy omelet, drenched in gravy, stacked so high it's basically brunch art. And then there's the Dive Cristo, smoked ham, house-made raspberry jam, gooey cheese wrapped in a flaky puff pastry. The Monte Cristo wishes it was this good. Brunch Saturday and Sunday only at the Dive Bar in Columbia. Don't just eat, experience.
If you're fed up with promised promotions that never come through, or you simply feel overworked and underpaid, maybe it's time for a change. Make sure your job search starts at midmohires.com. There, you can browse lots of local companies hiring for their next superstar employee. Plus, these are local jobs, so you don't have to up and move your whole family just to find a job that you enjoy. If you're looking to move up the ladder, start looking at the job openings posted at midmohires.com. Great local companies hiring great local people. midmohires.com.
Pro Designs, but better than a billboard.
Hey, this is Jimmy with Pro Designs, and maybe you've heard. We're the vehicle wrap specialist, but branding your business doesn't stop there. At Pro Designs, we can wrap your walls, windows, even floors.
Go to ProDezigns.com.
Come see them at their locations in Eldon or Columbia off Rangeline Street and I-70.
Pro Designs, but better than a billboard.
Back to more of the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. You've got The Big Show on the KTGR app.
Give us your good, bad, and ugly from NFL Week 8, 573-875-KTGR here on The Big Show with Andy and Brenden. We're also live on YouTube and Facebook. Go and join us there. Tweet at us at KTGR Big Show, and be sure to let your voice be heard on that. So the openings are now, there's 8 of them open now in Power 4. There will be more of them. There could be just another one that opens up next week, potentially. Who knows? I'm not saying I know which one, obviously.
Which ones could be coming open yet? Auburn, probably.
Potentially, if they lose to Kentucky. Yeah, that could happen.
Honestly, loser of that game could open. I know that the Stoops thing is like they would have to there's a buyout there and it's a whole thing. But
like it'll come down to like, because it's a big game for both of them when it comes to bowl eligibility, like just even that. So when that comes into play and you realize that you're in a position where you're not even going to make a bowl, then
it's bleak.
You make a jump on the decision there. It's at Auburn, so I don't think it'll happen. I think it's mostly going to be Kentucky that is.
I think Auburn's the better team
to that.
Yeah.
So, but again, anything can happen in this age of college football. So that could very well be the case. I don't know who Wisconsin plays. Maybe the next Wisconsin's
got to probably get rid of their guy.
Just ends up being the last straw. And they're like, okay, let's start moving on this. It could be one a week could happen for the remainder of this season. There's 5 weeks left in the college football regular season. We could have one a week.
A lot of people think that I believe one of the openings that we know of in Power 4 that's already opened up is Virginia Tech, and people think Beamer maybe is going to jump ship from South Carolina for that job, which is kind of like the Frank Haith move almost. Not to say that there's anything impermissible going on, but Frank Haith's thing was like, oh, let me get out of this job before the hot seat maybe gets on me a little bit, because I think with South Carolina, they can't be thrilled with what's going on there with Shane Beamer. No. So anyway, there's a ton of them. And like, Andy, I think adding LSU to the mix has changed the tone of this entire conversation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the biggest one, in my opinion. If I'm ranking them,
yes,
I'll go LSU number 1.
Without a doubt. That is no argument here.
In a tier of its own, by the way, as well, in my opinion.
I agree with that, too. Like, Ed Orgeron won a national championship there. Like, he was not expected to be their coach when he was brought on as like a assistant D-line coach or whatever it was when he went into that program.
And then he was the interim, right?
Then he was the interim.
He Ed-O'd his way to a title.
That's how you do it, man. Bring Joe Burrow in, bring Jamar Chase in, everybody else. So that is an excellent job. And you can very easily circle the wagons and create a championship caliber team. And most likely you're at least going to catch one.
I saw somebody committed to LSU after they fired Brian Kelly, like a high school kid.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, cool.
No,
I don't care who their coach is. I'll go.
Here's the thing. I did just a teaser for tomorrow when we do the tiers, like when we update those, like I'll drop LSU, but it's not necessarily me like saying that I think LSU is better. Like LSU is better today. They're a better team. So like it's after the bye, if they beat Alabama the very next week, I would not be surprised if they go to Tuscaloosa and do it. Like that could happen. Now,
I can you imagine though a program being so just ingrained in the culture that the kid doesn't know who their coach is. He just knows who it's not going to be.
But he's ready to go.
Done. I'll sign. I'm in.
That's Brian Kelly for you right there.
That's crazy. But that's LSU for you as well too. Just
that's also
good
true.
of a job that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true. So yes, they are number 1 on this list. Out of the next 7, who would you put number 2?
Okay, so let's give the people what it is.
Sure.
There's Penn State, we know. Florida, we know.
Arkansas.
Arkansas is on there. Oklahoma State with Mike Gundy being fired is on there. Virginia Tech, we mentioned.
Yep.
As Stanford.
Stanford and UCLA.
Those
are the 8.
I think the next one is a tier of 2 teams, and I would say that Penn State and Florida are in the same tier. Do you have a take on one being definitively a better job than the other?
I lean Penn State.
I do as well.
It's not even like it is very similar.
It depends what you're prioritizing a little bit too.
I think
it's easier to win at Penn State in the Big Ten, but you're getting that big brand cachet that is basically all we're leaning on with Florida too, because they haven't had recent success. But there's the recruiting pipeline for Florida. I think there's still good talent you can tap into in Pennsylvania. Ask Drink. And I think the fan base in both places is ready-made, custom built. You don't have to build it up and convince them. You don't have to do what Lane Kiffin is doing, kind of nudging fans to say, hey, can we maybe sell out this upcoming game this week? Would be really meaningful to our players. I saw a clip. I think they're playing like South Carolina or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like if you're at a SEC job and you're top 10 in the country and you're 7-1 or whatever Ole Miss is, like probably shouldn't have to be like begging, Drink had to do that a little bit as it started, but we haven't had to hear that from him really more this year because the sellout streak is happening. We've already kind of established that while this team is rolling, people are going to support it. Florida, Penn State, I don't really think it matters if they're rolling or not. I think they'll get the support from that fan base.
The thing that puts Penn State over the top for me, first of all, I don't think you'll have as many people just evisceratingly calling for your job if you go 8-4.
They're very used to that already. They're used to having good seasons and not, getting over the hump against Ohio State.
Yeah.
They're kind of used to that.
And look, they came out. I am pretty surprised, and this is maybe more so a testament to the people that were running the program at the time. But I think it's impressive that they came out of one of the biggest sports scandals that we have ever witnessed in 2011. And they come out of that and they become a pretty consistent conference title and national title contender for a good 4 or 5 years. And they got to that point within a decade of all of that, because that kills college football programs generally. But but they got only 2 head coaches needed to get that going. Bill O'Brien first, and then James Franklin. And I think that's pretty impressive. And it's a testament to the type of job that you can turn that into. And so that's why I put it number 2.
It's also a testament to, if we in Columbia, Missouri have to be talking about a coaching hot board at some point, James Franklin is going to be a name that I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
We talked about this earlier in the week, that the timing may be difficult, depending on the way that things break down, because right now James Franklin is available to be wooed by programs that have openings. And obviously we currently at Missouri do not have one. So, and hopefully we don't, but just to your point. So I'll lean Penn State over Florida, but I would say those are in the same tier. Those 2.
I agree. It's very close between those 2. You can't really go wrong with either one, I think.
And if I were also, by the way, thinking about this from a local perspective, because Drink's name is on every list, it seems at this point, I think it would be more appealing to go to Penn State than Florida if I was worried about this 9-game conference schedule and the juggernaut of the SEC, which I think is true at Missouri, but it's going to be true at Florida as well.
Yeah.
I think the Big Ten just has a more accessible path to annually be in that 10-win conversation, which gets you into the playoff, which allows you to access more. But I think those 2 jobs are very good jobs. The people in Florida, they're crazy. They're going to spend money and try to get LSU opens up and they're still talking, we got to get Lane Kiffin or bust.
Yeah.
And he'll be the highest paid coach in college football if Lane Kiffin leads Ole Miss, because he's going to leave for one of those 2 places and they're going to pay the heck out of him. But yeah, I can't knock, although recently it ain't been there for Florida. I think the history and the base is still strong there. The money is strong there. The recruiting is a dream there. And I would say Florida's in that tier 2. So those 3 jobs to me, Andy, of the ones that have opened up, there's another tier break after that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then it's debatable as far as these other jobs, in my opinion.
Yeah, here's the job that I don't think can be next. I don't think it can be 4. You got to wait a little bit. Arkansas cannot be next.
I don't think so.
No. I would pick Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech even over Arkansas at this point.
Virginia Tech is interesting because I see videos weekly of that crowd and the fans for a team that is garbage this year. Like that, there's kind of nothing else to do in the out there in Virginia, in the mountains or whatever. But I do think that's a relevant aspect of this. Like, the support is there, and if you win, man, they're going to be there to support you for sure. Let me throw a wrench into your Arkansas take and ask you. They didn't, and Hunter Yurachek, I think, also probably maybe has to go. Like, is he getting credit for bringing in Calipari, or was that the boosters that said, we're gonna give you the money necessary to hire this basketball coach that we want, because there's money there to support Arkansas athletics. It's just a matter of who are we going to give it to.
Yeah.
I feel like if those same people wanted to hire a football coach, that program ends up being more relevant more quickly than if the money is not there. And so that would be the one caveat.
The problem is,
if they target someone they want.
Are we sure that the money's there? Because Hunter Yurachek has kind of been crying poor a little bit.
I'm wondering if it's not there for him. And it's
maybe I don't know if a donor gets if his decision is based upon who the AD is. I think if you're wanting to have your school be great, like, and you identify a coach that's going to do that, then that's who you're donating the money for.
The money
more
people
so
would have to
than,
pick a coach.
Like,
That's
I
what-
understand the AD has to be the salesman there and the one that ultimately gets you to sign on the dotted line, but like,
I agree.
I think it's more about the plan for the head coach and what you're going to do there. But like, look, John Calipari is expecting a certain amount of NIL money himself. Right.
Yeah.
And so like that takes a little bit from Arkansas football, I think.
Yeah. They might have chosen basketball with that hire.
Yeah. More so with the other coaches that we have listed and the other jobs that we have listed. So that's why I kind of put that, but also just the fact that even when, because Sam Pittman did really well to start out, and I don't think he's that bad of a coach, but he bottomed out because it's hard to win there. I really do think it is hard to win at Arkansas. It's somewhat of a decent talent pool, but not compared to other areas of the SEC that you're drawing from. Historically, your schedule has been very tough, and you just have not been able to break through against those.
Yeah, you don't get to play
major
yourself.
opponents. No, you can't. Right. So, like, I think it gets pushed down the list of the SEC is, and that they have not been in that top tier in a while.
It is an SEC job, but I think you're right. It's one where you go in knowing it's going to be difficult to rise it up, unless those donors decide that they're going to change the math on that a little bit. I think that's still something that you have to face at Arkansas. About Stanford, I would say, awkward because you're in the ACC and shouldn't be. UCLA, a Big Ten job. Like there is
same
that
deal
aspect,
though. You got to travel a bunch.
Yep.
And so
that's tricky.
I think those are at the bottom of the list, if you had to ask me.
I like the Andrew Luck connection with Stanford, but I agree. There's still too many
academic
factors.
Standards still, like they matter, and that limits your talent pool and everything.
But the one I don't know what to do with, and you seem to maybe like it more than I do, Oklahoma State. I don't know if we know what that job is because Gundy had it for so long, and it feels like it's a little bit, the game's passed them by with Gundy. And so how do they come out of that?
But any given year, Big 12's up for grabs, right? Like
that's true.
If you establish a really solid funding base,
there's money around there.
Which even after T. Boone Pickens passed away, they are still rolling in the cash over in Stillwater. So I actually think it's a very attractive job. I would go LSU, Penn State, Florida, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, UCLA, Stanford.
I would probably put Arkansas. Oh man, I might. But I just said the fan base loves you in Virginia Tech. It's its own culture. Yeah, I don't think I firmly disagree with anything. Those bottom 4 of the 7 or whatever it is, I'm kind of like whatever on the order of those. There's room for an Auburn to come in, and that's above the others. There's room for like some jobs that open up, I think, get slotted right below the Florida Penn State tier and above the others. I think Auburn's one of those jobs.
Interesting. 875 KTGR. We can maybe talk about that up next. We can get some of your calls and texts on it here on the Big Show, KTGR.
Now, your local Sports Center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Ben Hermes, and this live local sports center is brought to you by Lee's Tire Company. If it's around in rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco is considered as week to week after suffering an MCL sprain in the Chiefs' 28-7 victory over the Washington Commanders last night, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. It is expected that the Chiefs will activate running back Elijah Mitchell, who has been a healthy scratch all year, as well as bring up running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the practice squad while Pacheco is dealing with his injury. Kansas City will be working with the short week, as their next game will be this Sunday as they head on the road to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills at 3:25. Mizzou women's basketball is in action tonight as they are set to host Maryville in an exhibition game from Mizzou Arena. This will be Mizzou's only game before the season starts next Monday, when they will host the University of Central Arkansas. This will also be the first time that people will get to see Kelly Harper as head coach of the Tigers. Tip-off for tonight's game is slated at 6:30 right here on KTGR. And the St. Louis Blues are in action tonight as they host the Detroit Red Wings. The Blues enter with a record of 3-5-1 with 7 points on the year, while the Red Wings enter with a 6-3 record and have 12 points in the league standings. Puck drop tonight is at Enterprise Center at 7:15. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is next.
I'm tracking showers overnight and early tomorrow, but rain wraps up for most by noon tomorrow with rain totals between a half inch and an inch across the area. Temperatures will be cool in the 50s during the day, but we drop to the upper 30s Wednesday night as clouds clear out. Sunny and cool weather is expected the rest of the week with chilly temperatures for trick-or-treating on Friday night. I'm meteorologist Nate Splater, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
Chiefs Kingdom lives here.
This is the Chiefs Kingdom.
Kansas City! Tune in every Monday night at 6 for the Chiefs Kingdom Show, hosted by the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis. Hear from head coach Andy Reid and your favorite Chiefs players all season long. After every game, enter the doors to the Chiefs Kingdom. Monday nights at 6, powered by Macadoodles, Steve's Pest Control, and your total sports station for all things Chiefs. KTGR.
Columbia's best Black Friday gun sale is at Minutemen Defense. November 18th through the 29th, everything except ammo is on sale. Big giveaways November 28th and 29th, including merch, ammo bundles, and Cerakote packages. Don't miss Friday and Saturday specials, plus tiered savings on STAC gear. Shop their website now through Black Friday and use the code RADIO at checkout for a special Black Friday discount on your purchase. Visit MinutemenDefenseLLC.com. Minutemen Defense off I-70 in Rangeline.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor and flair, Courtyard by Marriott Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering. And with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
Hey, Tiger fans, gear up for game day with Zing Zang. Score big with their Bloody Mary mix, crafted with 7 real vegetable juices and bold seasonings, or enjoy their ready-to-drink Bloody Mary canned cocktail made with premium vodka and 9% ABV. Prefer margaritas? Try their classic or mango margarita canned cocktails with real fruit juices and premium silver tequila. Find them at your local retailer. Zing Zang, taste the legend. And please, Zing Zang responsibly.
We're moving faster and faster these days with limited time to make an impact on potential customers. Hi, this is Jimmy at Pro Designs. For nearly 2 decades, we've worked with companies to build strong brands. At Pro Designs, our team can create a vehicle wrap to drive market share, growth, and profits. Connect with your customers on the go, on the road, and on the job site.
Visit us on the web at PRODEZIGNS.com.
Come see them at their locations in Eldon or Columbia off Rangeline Street and I-70.
Pro Designs, but better than a billboard.
Hi, I'm Tristan Colon, Mizzou grad and 6-year NFL veteran.
I'm Charlie Stickland.
And I'm Sarah Stickland McDonald of the Stickland & Stickland Injury Law Firm.
In football, home field advantage can make all the difference.
The same is true when choosing your injury lawyer.
We're locals. We know the courts, we know the towns, we know the people.
Just as I protect my team on the field,
Our family will protect your family.
When sorry just doesn't cut it.
Push back with Stickland & Stickland.
My name is Josh Arnold, and I've been working at Zimmer Communications for over 5 years. When I first started at Zimmer, I was really impressed at all of the resources that they have available to you to succeed. I started at this job right out of college. I think I learned more here my first 3 to 6 months than I did in all of my time in my schooling at college. Working at Zimmer Communications, you really feel like you're part of a team. You don't feel like you're pitted against one another. It's a really fun atmosphere that allows me to excel in my job.
If you're up for the challenge, apply now at ZimmerCommunications.com.
Winter's on the way, so now's the time to plan your tree pruning. Here's why. In winter, trees are dormant, which means they're less risk of disease. Plus, without all those leaves, it's way easier to see exactly what needs trimming. The educated, licensed, insured, and experienced crew at Advanced Tree Solutions knows how to protect your trees and your wallet. But spots are filling fast, so schedule your winter pruning today at AdvancedTreeSolutionsLLC.com. Advanced Tree Solutions, LLC, your tree's best friend.
They can't shoot it straight on the golf course, but they can shoot straight on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Back to Andy and Brenden on The Big Show on KTGR.
So again, 8 Power 4 football jobs open, and there could be more. Jason texting in, Texas coach, going pros. Well, he's not yet, but like there's thoughts about Sarkisian maybe going to the pros. If he's gone, that's the best job, right? Could be interesting. It's an argument between Texas and LSU at that point. I would maybe
same tier.
Yeah, I would lean LSU, but yeah, I think it's the same tier. I think it'd be LSU, Texas if Texas ends up being open at some point.
Yeah, and I would say, let me throw Florida State at you. What tier does that go in? Maybe the Penn State tier?
Yeah, I think so. Because that's also the Florida tier. I think they're similar.
Yeah,
I think they're very
so
similar at both. So yeah, put them in the top 5 if you're putting it in with them. Wisconsin would be down the list for me.
It would be the 3rd tier, but toward the top of it for me.
Okay.
Like above UCLA within the same conference. Oklahoma State, I could be convinced on either direction between those two.
It's Oklahoma State is kind of a wild card in this whole thing to me.
Yes, because it's about money nowadays, right? And if you get enough angry people going enough, you've got yourself a football program. You know what I mean? Like they can spend to do it.
I think you're right.
Auburn, where does that slide into these conversations?
See,
I'm going to say top of tier 3. It's not.
You're probably right.
Florida State or LSU.
No, it's not.
It's above Wisconsin.
I still think it'd be an interesting conversation between that and the jobs like Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech. I see it a little bit better than Arkansas, but kind of a similar situation. Like you have won a national title there within the last couple decades, so that's the difference. But it's interesting.
And when you talk about a guy like a James Franklin too, if I'm a Virginia Tech, I'll try to hire him now.
Oh yeah,
before some of these other jobs like an Auburn open up. Franklin wants to get back at it. That would be an interesting fit.
I would be very interested in seeing if he takes a job before, like, say, conference championship weekend or something like that. Thanks for joining us. Mizzou women's basketball exhibition game against Maryville. Coverage starts in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned for that. He's Brenden. I'm Andy. We're done for now.
1851 Underground.